So, Masked Rider episode 2, SABAN'S Masked Rider episode 2, is like a real mixed bag for me. I don't know how I feel about this necessarily because it has some cool stuff in it, but it's got some crazy stuff in it that I don't like either. So, it's, like I said, a mixed bag. So, right off the bat, I really did find the weird, sticky Ferbus stuff entertaining when they were at home, but when they got to the high school and he started like a food fight with, what's her name? It means Nefaria. That's the Jennifer Tongue. Anyway, that's really her name, or her stage name anyway. But when her maggots were at the school attacking or whatever, and like they got stopped by like the students closing a door, and then they got tricked into having a food fight and like beating each other up, and then there were 2 in the hallway, and then all of a sudden there was a 3rd one out of nowhere for Dex to fight later on. Like, that was super weak, and like the puppetry with Ferbus, like, it was good in some spots and then it was bad in some others. His weak little like stiff arm coming up to cover his mouth and things like that was really kind of weak. I mean, I can see they're working off of like a very limited set of technology for it, but it's still like, it was a little dicey. I didn't really like that, so that was kind of weak. But like the other stuff, the kind of the humor with Ferbus, like wanting to go with the kids and making the dad sneeze, and some of that stuff was like really like genuinely cool and fun. And then like there was a little bit at the end where Ferbus like threw what's the kid's name? Arby? No, that's from Jurassic Park 2. Anyway, he threw broccoli back up at the boy because he tried to give him some broccoli, and I thought that was a real funny moment, especially because the kid caught it and mom's like, hey, don't play with your food. And I just like, oh, it's a real like cute, clever way to kind of play with this and just like have fun with the idea of like, hey, we're really doing this. There's an alien living with the family. The mom and dad don't know about it, and like the kids are just kind of whatever. They're making it happen. It was real fun. So anyway, yeah, I kept thinking like during the lame stuff at the school where not like the meeting of the emergency meeting, like we need to come up with a plan of action or whatever. That was actually kind of cool, and it was kind of cool to see the parents taking food to the school and like being part of organizing like their leaders in the community, which seems really dumb to talk about, but it was actually like a real cool moment. And to think that like Dex happened to land with these people who are like taking charge and like want to help, and they're altruistic, and anyway they like actively want to participate in doing good for people around them. That's really cool to see him land with them. And like I don't know how interesting the dynamic will get based on that, but it's kind of a fun idea. So that was kind of cool. So there was that. I really liked the grandfather, Lexian, telling, and I don't know, is he actually communicating with Dex, or is this like a construct of him based on Dex's memories? I don't really know. And like some of the stuff with the mind gem or whatever they call it, like doesn't really make any sense at all. Like how is he able to bust open that wall to form that cave? How is he able to give life to like, did he convert like a grasshopper into Battle Chopper? Did he convert a ladybug into what's her name? Not Mona, not Morgana. That's the same character from a video game. Magno? I think he calls her Magno, which, why not Magna, but whatever. Yeah, Magno, and Combat Chopper, not Battle Hopper, Combat Chopper. Ugh. Anyway, like, I like their personalities. I like that they have voices. It adds a little, spice to the show or whatever. But like the way he created them, like, doesn't make any sense to me. It would, and then like later on, Dragon knows that Battle or Combat Chopper is called Combat Chopper. So like, I wish that they had been like part of the Masked Rider arsenal, and that like Dragon knew about them because he coveted that power that the Edenites had. That's what I call them anyway. The Edenites had like, grown or coalesced. Like, they built an arsenal. They were peaceful people, but they built an arsenal because if you want peace, you have to prepare for war, right? Anyway, so they had this, and he coveted that power. Like, that would almost be a cooler angle to me than he's just like this marauder, space marauder conqueror man, and he's decided to conquer Earth, and his nephew's getting in the way or whatever. It just seems kind of odd. Like, I don't really get that. But anyway, like, and it also like fails to capitalize on like making that connection and like deepening the lore there. So that was kind of silly. Like, I don't really get that choice. It doesn't make sense to me. And like, it just makes the powers like feel like very like it's pulled out of thin air, and there's no rhyme or reason to them, which is odd because they're like trying to be serious with it when they have stuff like Lexian telling, I hope I didn't talk about this already, Lexian telling Dex that like failure is what makes you stronger. I love that. I had these like weird Last Jedi vibes, especially as I was going through gathering snippets for the thumbnail I made. I hope I touch on everything in that thumbnail, by the way. We'll see. Anyway, but yeah, it was like, it's got these like real serious vibes, and it's talking about like a real serious thing that like you can fail. I mean, you can fail and still be a success. That successes are actually built on failures, and by learning and growing through your failures and through your faults, and like that's such a great idea. That's so cool. And I like that Dex is struggling, and then he overcomes it, fairly quickly. So in a way, I mean, it's definitely cool, but in a way it also kind of feels like this is like very much like a junior, like not even junior Power Rangers. Like, I don't know, it's been a long time since I've watched, like sat down and actually concentrated and watched a old MMPR or something like that, so I can't really say what it's like or what the tone is. But like with the maggots fighting in the hallway and that food fight thing, like that felt very much like Baby's first, Kamen Rider or whatever. It was just like, it was disappointing. I did not like that. But like at the same time, in the same episode, like I think a parallel scene basically, it's like A and B, they're weaving in between the two. You've got this cool thing about Lexian trying to teach Dex to overcome failure and stuff, and like to embrace it, and to use that to become stronger. That's really cool. And he goes and introspects, and that's how he ends up summoning and having that conversation with his grandfather, because he's worried about how difficult it was for him to defeat the Destructo Sphere. And like I really like that. Like, he's not full of himself. He's this humble hero who is just trying to fight the good fight and like survive and figure out how he can manage things. And by the end of the episode, he's confident in his ability to do that because he's got these two allies and these, sentient vehicles or whatever. So that was neat. I'm trying to think now. I talked about the parents, talked about Ferbus, talked about the grandfather. I talked about the lame food fight thing. I really think the villains are menacing. The villains are menacing. Like, at least on the ship, they're talking tough and they're talking crazy. And like, Nefaria's like, unleash all the, destruct insectivores at one time, and Dragon's like, no, even I couldn't handle that. So it's like, well, one, why don't, like, that's a cool that they gave a reason why they don't just unleash all the monsters at once. Two, why doesn't Dragon go and fight Dex directly then, if that's the case? Even he could send a monster and then he can go down himself, but that's, silly. And three, I don't know if I got a third point or not, but anyway, like, if they keep the silly stuff and like the nonsensical, like the monsters being stopped by like barely any thing at all, I'll be able to take this as like a legitimately really cool show that I enjoy. If not, I'm going to continue with it, at least for now, and keep enjoying it because it's kind of fun. But it's definitely like a step down from what I remember of MMPR, but we'll see if I get to that eventually one day, what I think about that. And it's like, I don't know, it's a little bit of a shame that this was the Masked Rider adaptation that they did, because yeah, I can see it kind of dishonors stuff a little bit from the original, but I don't know. When you give up your rights to something, you got to be careful, because you never know what you're going to get. Like, maybe Toei should have had a much stronger hand in adapting this, but I guess, I don't know, were they just looking for that dollar or what? Ishimori was still alive at the time, so he could have been like, yeah, just give me that cash. But I don't know. But I overall do like it. I enjoyed it. I'd give it like a, I don't know, like a 7 out of 10 or something. It was mostly fun. There was just some stuff I didn't like so much. So anyway, that's it. That's it for my instant reaction to SABAN'S Masked Rider Episode 2. Look out for more stuff from me. Go to mgmunoz.com. Check out all my stuff. Eventually, this will be packaged in the podcast format in Straight Outta Edenoi. You can check that out, as well as my coverage of Dawn Brothers right now and other tokusatsu stuff as I go, Star Wars, etc., etc. Oh, also, I just love the look of the lightsaber, Revelcane. Although it is lame that they did turn it into like a blaster sort of thing instead of a sword, a lightsaber, because that's, I just don't get that. How is shooting somebody with a sword better than stabbing them or slashing them with a sword? It doesn't make any sense to me, but whatever. Anyway, but that's it. I leave you with peace and blessings. This is MJ signing out.